things just got intense in Pittsburgh as the Pittsburgh Steelers are set to play the Cleveland Browns in Pittsburgh. Guys like George Pickens, TJ Watt, and Alex Highsmith are looking to have some big revenge games against this divisional foe. My name is Peyton Kleppy. This is Steelers Digest. If you haven't clicked that subscribe button already, click that down below. So you're going to help me out as I move this channel along and I grow it moving forward. Let's get right into the news. We got a lot to talk about. So first of all, Alex Highsmith, this guy's coming back. We activated him off injury. There's a big moves to get back because Alex Highsmith in the past has shown that he can contribute to our team. He had 14 and a half sacks in 2022, and this year he's only got 3 sacks. If you look at the stats, he's got 3 sacks in 6 games, no forced fumbles, no fumble recoveries, but he's got 4 tackles for loss, 11 solo tackles, 19 combined tackles, and 10 QB hits. So in 6 games, that's really not bad. You can't really complain. And some people might think these are quite pedestrian stats, but this guy, year in, year out, is always creating QB pressure. So even though he doesn't really get the stats, he puts in a lot of the work, TJ Watt really gets a lot of the stats. If you watch a lot of our games, he's a real big. He tries to get to the quarterback. So even though he might not have a lot of tackles a game, he'll have like 1 or 2 sacks. So, but Highsmith is a key piece to getting those sacks, and our pass rush needs it. This year it's been kind of rough with Highsmith in and out of the lineup. Herbig's shown up pretty big the past couple games, but earlier in the year we had guys like Jeremiah Moon in there and some guys that really didn't have a lot of NFL experience. So having this guy's back in the lineup is huge for us. And moving forward, we're going to need him as we got to play the Browns this Sunday, Eagles next Sunday, and then we still got the Chiefs around Christmas time. Got to play the Ravens again and the Bengals. So getting a guy back like this is huge for team morale and just, team talent as we move forward in the season. But, some other news that we got, not so great news. George Pickens was fined $20,000 by the NFL, 20 G's for his 2 fouls against the Bengals last week. He got $10K for each foul. First one, he spun the ball and tossed it on the Bengals player after he got a catch, and that was 15 yards. And then later on in the game, I think he got a big deep ball or a first down, and he put up a gun sign, meaning first down. That's what he said after the game. But the refs did not see it that way. They threw the flag and just thought he was being who he is, NFL young boy. But I hope Pickens responds to this in a good way for once, and he doesn't get to his head. Because this is a big game. I don't know if people realize that. This is a huge divisional game, and the Cleveland Browns are the last losing team. I believe the Cincinnati Bengals are 4-8, so they're one of the 2 last under 500 teams we're going to play this season. So if we can come out with a win, moving into these next couple weeks, it's going to be huge. These next couple weeks are going to be rough. We got the Eagles, we got the Chiefs, like I said, we got the Ravens. So we got to steal a win like this. This will put us over the top in the AFC North. We'll be, I believe, 2 games. We might be a game or 2 ahead of the Ravens, but I'll take any cushion that we can get. As we've seen in the past, the Ravens do not quit. Baltimore does not quit. So we'll see what's good moving forward. But GP's really got to respond in a good way tomorrow. I expect him to get at least 10 to 15 targets, probably have 8 to 10 catches for hopefully over 100 receiving yards. I think there's potential for GP to have the best game of the season this game against the Browns. He got in a huge fight against Greg Newsome last game, and I think he's super fueled up, super ready to go because he wants to show that the Steelers are the better team and he's a much better receiver than the nameless gray faces in the Cleveland Browns. But anyways, some more news has come out that the Browns are even purposefully teaching trash talk to their players and try to get into guys like GP's head. This is a crazy tactic. I don't know if I've ever seen an NFL team at least publicly come out and say that they're doing this. We'll see what happens, though. They got a lot of talkers on their team. They got Myles Garrett, who's he's not my defensive player of the year, but a former defensive player of the year, and he loves to run his mouth. So they got him. They got Jameis, who, if you guys didn't watch last Thursday's game, he was running his mouth. He had close to 500 yards, but they still lost. So I think he's pretty ready to go, pretty pumped up to come play the Steelers at home. But we can't let them get to our heads, and we got to just realize that we're the better team. Got to stay calm and just beat them up. They're little brothers in division. They always have been, always will be. So we can't let the talk get to our head, and just keep our heads down and show why we're the better team, why we're 9-3, and why they're 3-9. So, anyways, it's a crazy tactic. I'm excited to see what happens, though. I'm excited to see what the refs do. Hopefully they don't toss a lot of flags, and hopefully they let it get a little chippy. If you guys watched the last game, early on in the game, there was a I believe a missed call by the refs where what is his name? A cornerback on the Bengals, Britt something. He grabbed Pickens' face mask and threw him to the ground, and that made Russ throw a pick. So the refs kind of let him play. We'll see what we do tomorrow. I like when it gets a little chippy, but sometimes it gets a little crazy. So hopefully they'll let it go, but not too much. So another quote that came out about tomorrow's game, George Pickens came out and said, I believe it was yesterday, he had a little press conference on his locker, and they asked him about Greg Newsome, the guy who we fought last week or the week before that, and he said, I don't even know who that is. It was pretty funny. If you guys haven't seen the video, it's a pretty funny quote, but I think it's the perfect thing to say because, GP in the past has said some stuff that he probably regrets saying, like right after the loss, he called the Cleveland Browns. He said, I don't even believe they're a good team. So, he said things in the past that he probably regrets, and I think this is the perfect thing to say. Previously, he's also pulled the Marshawn Lynch, and he said, I'm just here so I don't get fined. But as you've seen, that has not worked out for him. He just got fined $20K today, so I don't know. I hope this adds a ton of fuel to the fire, and he's super hyped going into this game against the Browns tomorrow. Cleveland Clowns. I really think we got potential to have a big win tomorrow. That's really all I got for you guys tomorrow, but some key matchups I'd say to look at is obviously George Pickens. We'll see who the Browns have on him tomorrow. I think primarily they're probably going to have a Newsome against him or Denzel Ward, their number one guy. So I think that's a key matchup to look at. Like I said, I think Pickens is going to have probably his best game tomorrow, probably over 100 yards, probably a touchdown or two, because Russ is going to be looking for him. He's our number one guy. We'll see if Calvin Austin's going to come back from concussion protocol. I know he was into that after the Bengals game. So we're really going to have to rely heavily on George Pickens, run the rock with Najee. And Russ has got no interceptions, dude. Please, no interceptions, no fumbles. Just take care of that football. That's really all I got for you guys tonight. Like I said, we got the Browns tomorrow at 1 o'clock in Pittsburgh. Make sure to tune in. And make sure to come back and tune in for my post-game report after the game tomorrow. My name is Peyton Kleppe. This has been Steelers Digest. Here we go, Steelers. Thanks so much, boys.